don't understand what that's saying. But hello. Utah, Columbus, LA. How's everybody? Where's everybody watching from? It's always nice to know. Carpado. It's pretty funny. lakes in Utah, or like West Valley, Taylorsville.
your soul energy was before humans walked the earth? Well, the answer is you were on other civilized planets. There are many, many planets out there that support, to us how that got to be in the Bible. Throughout history, you need the self-confidence to do this on your own. So I started doing these channeling sessions without using the board, and I can basically just sit and speak the words of the spirits. I can do it with the Holy Spirits, and I can do it with just normal spirits of family members. I can sit. The other night, a person I didn't know got in touch with me that she had a problem, and I could speak the words of her mother that had passed, and she gave her the information she was looking for, and I knew nothing about it. So quite often when I do it, I'm in a real light trance, and I have trouble remembering actually what I say when I'm doing this, but I am channeling the words of the spirits.
Okay, so how often have you? Let me ask this: how long have you been not? How can I say this? How long have you not used the board? Yeah.
Probably about a year now.
About a year.
Okay. We're coming up on a year.
Are you doing personal readings for people now? Like if they want to get in touch with a loved one or whatnot, or what?
I can, but we've been so busy that I've just steered away from it. We've started a new series called Speaking to Spirits on YouTube, where we were interviewing historic figures. We came over early before the show tonight, and we did a half-hour interview with General George Patton, and we'll be posting that up on YouTube. So I can essentially do it with most any spirit now.
Okay. So how many different spirits did you have to communicate with in order to get the information that you needed to write this particular book?
This book, we communicated with probably 20 different Holy Spirits for this to give us information. We did a chapter. There's a chapter in it giving a short outline of the lives of all the disciples. We channeled Mary Magdalene, Mother Mary. Augustine did a lot of work with information on this. St. Paul, St. Peter. We probably did roughly 20 Holy Spirits for this book that's out right now.
Okay, so Barry, so when you're channeling these spirits and they're giving you this information, are you concerned about going back and being able to verify this information before you actually put it in a book, or how are you doing that?
What we do when we give information, we'll actually ask the same question to different spirits and verify that we get the same answers. Because in the beginning, when my abilities weren't as strong as they were, we did have times that spirits would sneak in and false spirits and give us bad information. So I developed a pattern where we will ask the same question multiple times in different sessions with unrelated spirits and make sure that we get the same answer.
Okay. Now, you're talking about false spirits here. Have you communicated with evil spirits or demonic spirits in the past?
No. When we started in this, the very first night people started to teach us the board, they said never, ever invite evil. And then they gave us a special prayer of protection that we use, that before we start every session, we use this same prayer of protection. And we probably channeled now, I would guess 600-700 hours at least. And we have never had an evil spirit come through.
Okay. All right. Now, I found it really interesting that you talk about karma in this book. Why did you feel that was necessary to?
Karma plays an extremely important life in your reincarnation pattern. You can do evil in a lifetime, and it will affect your future lives because you have to make up for that karma. Just the same as you can do karma in an existing lifetime, and things will happen to you to pay back for what you've done. One thing that we learned in writing this book is that the messages that Jesus spoke were actually incredibly simple. You got to keep in mind, Jesus spoke to the poor and the uneducated people. If he would have spoken parables or with difficult messages, those people would have thrown stones at him. So he and the disciples spoke very, very simply to these people. Now, he did get more complicated in the message that he gave to his disciples because they were more capable of understanding. But he spoke a very, very simple message of love, and he did not speak of fear. When you go back and the story that I have written is an absolutely believable story of the life of this person that was Jesus. Jesus was God incarnate when he comes back. And he lives this absolutely normal life for 28 years. And yes, he is married and has children during that period of time. Keep in mind that the Gospels do not mention whether he is married or whether he is not married. The secret of his marriage was one of the best kept secrets of his lifetime. Jesus feared that if the Romans found out about his family, that they would put his family to death, as he knew he was going to be put to death. So his married life is an absolute secret that is kept from all. The only disciple that he ever tells that he is married is Peter. But that is why it's not written in the Gospels, because it was such a well-kept secret.
Now, Barry, I want to talk about God. And since you mentioned it, what did they tell you God was?
God is a universal energy. Jesus is the personification or human form of God. But God is the universal energy, and he is the boss throughout our galaxy.
Let's stay on that for one moment, because I did flip through some chapters and I saw one that said that all galaxies have a God.
Yes, the immensity of the universe is impossible to comprehend. In the Milky Way galaxy, if each sun was a grain of sand, there would be enough sand to fill an Olympic-sized swimming pool. That's how large our galaxy is. In comparison, if every sun in the universe was a grain of sand, it would be every grain of sand on Earth. So it's incomprehensible. And apparently, and what we're told is that each galaxy out there has got its own God. Our God is the God of the Milky Way. But any of the other galaxies have other gods. And the immensity of the universe, it makes a lot of sense. Now, I know that's going to upset some people.
Probably, but we're not going to worry about it. Okay, so another thing you talk about is Satan, the devil, and Lucifer. Most people, they think they're one and the same, but they're not, are they?
No. Satan is the evil energy, and Lucifer is the personification of that evil energy. So, for instance, Hitler would be considered Lucifer. He was the personification of evil energy. Now, there is no evil energy in heaven. When you come back, you do not bring evil energy with you. Evil energy is a phenomenon of being earthbound. God gives humans free will and egos as a test, because he wants humans to be able to make all of their decisions. And those decisions determine how they will advance in the realms of heaven.
I have to ask you this. I don't know if I asked you this during my other interview, but I'm going to ask you again, Barry. Does hell exist?
No. Heaven has 7 realms. There is a lower realm of nothingness where evil souls are sent. But it is not the hell that is envisioned, the fire and brimstone. That was the creation of mankind. Jesus never actually spoke of hell when he taught. What he told the people was, if you lead a good life, you will join me in heaven. And to Jesus, the everlasting life was your multiple lives through reincarnation, because your soul energy is eternal. He never taught that your soul only has one shot at this. And if you stop and think about it, what would happen to the soul of a baby that's aborted at birth, for instance. Where would that soul go? You are all of your lifetimes that you repeat are dedicated to either advancing or being demoted in the realms of heaven.
Okay. So that was my next question. Okay, so through reincarnation and as we learn our lessons, we advance through these realms.
That is correct. And one thing that he is very emphatic about are the many paths to heaven. For instance, Christians represent 1/4 of the population on the earth. Christians are not the only people that go to heaven. Individuals, the Hindus, Buddhists, many of the other world religions also will go to heaven. They are judged on how they live their lives. There are people out there that have never even heard of a God. And there have been people, and all of the people, basically, that lived before the birth of Christ. All of those souls never heard of God. So, logically speaking, all souls that lived before the birth of Christ would go to hell, according to some beliefs. You are judged on how you live your life according to God's very simple messages. And you are not penalized for the fact, really, that you never learned of the God that we know. So there are many, many paths to advancing in the realms of heaven. Just the same as you live a life of evil, there are many paths to being demoted in those realms. And I mean, and I'm going to give you something else that's going to kind of put people's hair on fire. Your soul energy has been around since creation. Humans have walked the earth for basically 250,000 years. So where do you think your soul energy was before humans walked the earth? Well, the answer is you were on other civilized planets. There are many, many planets out there that support life. Now keep in mind, to the extraterrestrials, humans are alien to them. And there are hundreds of different types of aliens that are around us in multiple dimensions that we don't see. They have supported human advancement since they walked the earth. They tell us that aliens have actually visited our planet during the time of the dinosaurs, over 60 million years ago.
Hello, it is Ryan, and I was on a flight the other day playing one of my favorite social spin slot games on ChumbaCasino.com. I looked over at the person sitting next to me, and you know what they were doing? They were also playing Chumba Casino. Everybody's loving having fun with it. Chumba Casino is home to hundreds of casino-style games that you can play for free anytime, anywhere. So sign up now at ChumbaCasino.com to claim your free welcome bonus. That's ChumbaCasino.com and live the Chumba life.
Sponsored by Chumba Casino. No purchase necessary. VGW Group. Void where prohibited by law. 18+. Terms and conditions apply.
Hello, it is Ryan, and I was on a flight the other day playing one of my favorite social spin slot games on ChumbaCasino.com. I looked over at the person sitting next to me, and you know what they were doing? They were also playing Chumba Casino. Everybody's loving having fun with it. Chumba Casino is home to hundreds of casino-style games that you can play for free anytime, anywhere. So sign up now at ChumbaCasino.com to claim your free welcome bonus. That's ChumbaCasino.com and live the Chumba life.
Sponsored by Chumba Casino. No purchase necessary. VGW Group. Void where prohibited by law. 18+. Terms and conditions apply.
We are an extremely young culture. We have much to learn. And we've been guided by these alien guides since our inception. We were actually told that God made 3 attempts to create humans. And one of them was while Earth was covered in water. And that is why you have mammals as sea creatures. Dolphins, for instance, are mammals. And that was part of that seeding. But God realizes that seeding was incapable of advancing to the point that he wanted humans to advance to. Now he's created humans, and we're advancing, and we're facing very difficult choices. because now our technology has given us weapons of mass destruction. So humans are now perfectly capable of wiping themselves from the face of the earth. It's up to us how we choose to evolve in the future. But it's a wild thing that we have. But aliens have the same soul energies as humans have. The soul energies, like in my body, for instance, before humans walked the earth, I reincarnated on other planets. And on those other planets, I also attempted to serve God. And that's one of the reasons why Connie and I were chosen to write these books about his words and why he has given us this healing strength. So it's almost taken me, it's going to take me about 8 books to tell this whole story. But the one that's out there, Spirit Speak of the Universe lays the foundation for universal reincarnation and for the universal God. And this book, Channeling the Life of Jesus, explains his life, his teachings, and tells the stories of those around him, tells the true story of his birth. For instance, we're all used to seeing the Christmas story, where you have the manger and you see the 3 wise men come popping in. Well, actually, in the party of wise men, there were 45 to 50 in the group, because they were royalty traveling from Persia, and they had their armed guards with them. They had their assistants, and they traveled in this group. And the reality was, it took them 3 months to get to Bethlehem to see the baby. Now, they had the gift of prophecy, the psychic ability I was talking about. So, their psychic ability tells them that, yes, the Messiah is born in Bethlehem. They go to Judea, talk to Herod, find the baby, and sneak out of town without telling Herod where they are. But they actually arrive when the baby is 3 months old, not when it's in the manger. And when you go through all these different facts that they told us, the whole story of the life of Christ becomes just amazingly believable.
Let's talk about this one moment before we move on from here. Okay, so you mentioned alien beings and they have the same soul energy that we do. So, when we leave this realm of existence, you're saying that there will be aliens in the same place.
There will be soul energies that were aliens in their prior lives.
Have you ever gotten any information about there being any type of inner earth beings?
No. They've never said that. They've said that actually they don't exist. There are many aliens living among us. For instance, Palladians. You can't tell from humans, and many humans don't even realize they're Palladians.
Okay, but nothing, in no kind of life force or civilizations that live inside our planet?
No.
Okay. All right. Now let's talk about disclosure. Some believe it's the first step leading up to some type of false flag deception. Do you know anything about that?
No, they have been, the alien spirit that we channeled's name was Mu. And he told us by 2020, there would be disclosure that extraterrestrials truly do exist. In my universe book, I actually dedicated a chapter to everything that's going on down in Antarctica. And Antarctica's, the events down there have been kind of the trigger. And with social media and everything, they just aren't going to be able to keep the secret much longer. And even the government now is admitting that they've been studying them for a long, long time.
Did they tell you anything that actually took you by surprise?
A lot. An incredible amount.
Okay, so tell us some of those things.
Mu tells us that there is, well, first of all, they use molecular teleportation for their ships. And that is how they cover these vast distances. With our current technology, for one of our spaceships to reach the nearest sun, it would take 42,000 years. Now, Mu's planet is on the furthest spiral of the Milky Way, and he makes it to Earth in 2 days. And it's done through this. It's almost like the concept of beam me up, Scotty. It's like from poof to poof, and you're there. He told us about travel through wormholes, what that was like, a whole bunch of different things. But what I think caught me as much off guard as anything was when he was talking about this huge spaceship that they have. And when I wrote the universe book, it was parked in back of Saturn. And I asked him how big the ship was. And he said it was the size of the United States. And then I asked him how many different alien types were on that ship. And he said over 250 different types of aliens. See, the aliens have learned the fallacy of mutual destruction. So they get along, because with these incredible energies and powers that they have, if they meant humans ill harm, we'd be gone. I mean, they have got these incredible technologies, many of which they have been trying to teach us. They were instrumental in a lot of our space technology that we have. They've been guiding us through the years. The Nazis, for instance, advanced so rapidly after 1938 because there was a crash of a ship in Bavaria, and the aliens actually assisted von Braun and the rest of them in their technologies. That's why you see this almost miraculous increase in German technologies. Before 1938, they couldn't get a rocket off the pad. And by the war, they've got they're putting weaponized rockets over Britain. So they advanced more rapidly than it would have been possible from their basic technologies. Just the same as we were assisted in development of the atomic bomb. We've been helped through the years. The MRI machine, they say that they gave us the technologies for that. Salk vaccine, that they helped influence Salk in developing the vaccine. In my books, I go through a ton of things that the aliens have assisted in doing through the years.
I want to touch on something. I've been actually going through your book here, trying to find it. Siblings of Jesus.
Yes.
Now, has anybody gave you any issues about saying that he had another sibling, or is that something that's well known?
I don't know. It's well known to me.
Is it in the Bible somewhere or what?
I don't think so.
Okay, so tell us about that.
I'm going to tell you right up front, I'm not a student of the Bible. I mean, I know enough about it. I know the problems with the Bible, and I know why many of the Gospels were changed. For instance, in my universe book, I list 300 lost Gospels that existed at 325 AD that were not included in the Bible. There were 300 presented, of which 27 are selected. So there was a ton of information out there. All the Gnostic books, for instance, by 400 AD, they were illegal. And if you studied Gnosticism, it was a penalty of death for it. So there was a lot of incentive not to be a Gnostic in those days. But he also has 5 children. And apparently, the seventh level souls actually represent the soul family of God. And these souls have been sent back through the years attempting to bring the messages of God to the people. For instance, Gandhi was a member of the soul family that was sent back. Mother Teresa, same thing. Billy Graham. Now, Billy Graham was actually a reincarnated child of Jesus. And we found this out the hard way. We knew that the oldest son of Jesus' name was Ezekiel. And we were doing another call-in radio show. A fella calls in from Arizona and says, "Do you think we could talk to Billy Graham?" And this is about a month after he passed. So I said, we can try. So I asked my guide, I said, "Can we have Billy Graham?" And all of a sudden, I'm hearing in my head, "Yes, how can I help you?" And we had the board out. So I said, you got to prove to me that we're talking to Billy Graham. So on the board, he spells out the name Ezekiel, the oldest son of Jesus. And Connie and I are the only two people in the world that knew this, but he had just told us that he was the reincarnated son of Jesus when he walks the earth. So, I mean, the souls of the children and close relatives of Jesus have come back and lived multiple other lifetimes. That's going to bring some silence from people.
I'm sure you can handle it. I know you can. All right. So it's good that, you're talking about all this. People can read it and then take what they want from it, believe it or not. That's what I say.
Yeah. And I'm one of the few people. I post, everything is online. You can go in and see where we receive this information and believe it for yourself.
Okay, Barry. So do you have channeling every month and choose somebody to communicate with? How can people keep up with what you're doing and stuff?
Well, we have Facebook is, we have our own group on Facebook. It's called Words of God Then and Now. You can join the group. You can send me a friend request, Barry Strom on Facebook. You can follow our website. We have a website called wordsofgodthenandnow.com. I have another website called spiritspredict.com. Or you can go onto the YouTube channel, and that's in my name, Barry Strom. Or you can break down and buy my books. So it's a lot of ways to keep up.
All right. And what else are you working on now? What's your next book you're working on?
Well, my book is at the publisher. It's finished, and it's the second volume, and it tells the messages of Jesus and the Holy Spirits. And for instance, there's a whole chapter in it that's developed from us channeling with Mary Magdalene. There's a chapter from Mother Mary, Peter, Paul. St. Paul's is a wonderful story that he gave us because Paul actually crucifies Christians, and Jesus comes to him on the road to Damascus. For instance, and we ask Paul, what exactly did Jesus say to you? And he tells us the exact words and what he sees and how that affects his life. And it just takes, I find biblical stories very difficult to read and to comprehend. What they tell us is in such a plain and simple and understandable language. And I use their actual quotes. You'll see, I'll ask the questions and then you'll see the actual words from transcripts. So you are actually reading the words that have been given to us by the holiest of spirits. And it's kind of a unique approach to things.
Very good, very good. All right. My special guest tonight is Barry Strom, and his website, spiritspredict.com. I will have that on the website and also in the show notes. Pick up his books. They are excellent, especially the conspiracy book. I really enjoyed that one. They are all available on Amazon.com. Barry, many blessings to you, and I really appreciate your time.
Hey, thanks for having me.
All right, that's going to do it for tonight's edition. Some of you guys may have some very strong opinions about what Barry says, but that's okay. I'm sure if you wanted to ask him questions that I wasn't able to, he'll be more than happy to answer those. You can contact him via his website. I do suggest you pick up his book in order to get the full story before you do that. That way you can fully understand what he's talking about there. We couldn't get through the whole book, of course, during this interview. It is, it's intriguing what he says, and if some of those match up with some things that you have heard before, I would like to know what those are, because I'd like to share that with Barry as well, to get his... insight on that. Again, his book is called Channeling the Life of Jesus. Barry has some other good books available on Amazon as well. One of my favorite ones is called Spirits Speak of Conspiracies and Mysteries. It is an excellent book. I do suggest you pick that up on I like hardcover. It's really neat. The cover's neat, and you will enjoy that book. Okay, so I want to thank my producer tonight, Kim, and the Mysterious Radio team. I am your host, K-Town. Have a great night, and I will see you next time on Mysterious Radio.
Like the show? Get more Mysterious Radio on our website. And don't forget to visit our Twitter and Facebook page.
Hello, it is Ryan, and I was on a flight the other day playing one of my favorite social spin slot games on ChumbaCasino.com. I looked over at the person sitting next to me, and you know what they were doing? They were also playing Chumba Casino. Everybody's loving having fun with it. Chumba Casino is home to hundreds of casino-style games that you can play for free anytime, anywhere. So sign up now at ChumbaCasino.com to claim your free welcome bonus. That's ChumbaCasino.com and live the Chumba life.
Sponsored by Chumba Casino. No purchase necessary. VGW Group. Void where prohibited by law. 18 plus. Terms and conditions apply. Looking for excitement? Chumba Casino is here. Play anytime, play anywhere. Play on the train, play at the store, play at home, play when you're bored. Play today for your chance to win and get daily bonuses when you log in. So what are you waiting for? Don't delay. Chumba Casino is free to play.
Experience social gameplay like never before. Go to Chumba Casino right now to play hundreds of games, including online slots, bingo, Slingo, and more. Live the Chumba life at ChumbaCasino.com. VGW Group. No purchase necessary. Void where prohibited by law. See terms and conditions. 18 plus.
It's 2025, a new year, and the perfect time to turn your business dreams into reality. Maybe you've been tossing around a great idea, but haven't acted yet. Well, Shopify is how you're going to make it happen. Shopify makes it simple to create your brand, open for business, and make your first sale. With thousands of customizable templates, you don't need coding or design skills. Just drag, drop, and go. Plus, Shopify's social media tools help you connect all your channels and create shoppable posts so you can sell everywhere your customers scroll. Managing your business is easy too. From shipping to taxes to payments, Shopify handles the details on a single dashboard, letting you focus on what really matters, growing your business. Established in 2025 has a nice ring to it.
This episode is brought to you by Allianz Travel Insurance. You like to keep some spontaneity in your sojourns. You love your home base, but you're not a homebody. Maybe you're planning on taking the kids to Orlando in the summer, then sneaking away to a cabin in the Smokies for a couple's escape this fall. Once cabin fever sets in, maybe a girl's trip to Aspen later in the year. Our All Trips plan protects your trips all year. Get a quote at AllianzTravelInsurance.com.
Hi there, I'm K-Town, and on this edition of Mysterious Radio.
Apple and Princess Moon Owl of the UFO by Charles Lear. The 1975 book by John Keel, The Mothman Prophecies, is a complex book. The book's through line centers on events in Point Pleasant, West Virginia, from November 15, 1966 to December 15, 1967. These involved UFOs, sightings of a winged humanoid with glowing red eyes dubbed the Mothman, and the collapse of the Silver Bridge, which spanned the Ohio River. take notes within them. Suggestions state.
Go,
Sign
Boo.
Ace out. Text returned normal. Jane was sitting by. Jane began to see the librarian. One woman approached her and asked if there was anything new. Jane described that her speech and behavior were resolved, as if she were dead. The woman later stepped out of an alley and said, "Peter is coming." Jane met and said, "Happy to meet you, Peter." Then she back up. Man opened the back door and stepped out. One was dressed in expensive pants. Suit shiny silk-like material, similar to that of a clothing line on the librarian. His hand was icy cold as he shook Jane's hand. He told her that he must not spell A-P-U-L. He gave Jane a small metal disc wrapped in gold parchment. Told her to wear it at all times. She nailed it to Kate, examined it, and said, she was seeing it. Turned around and smiled like hot days. In the meantime, Carol was visiting at the station wagon, very dark company, glassy eyes, wearing a costume and feathers. She was gasping for breath, managed to get out, and she was Princess Moon. He told Carol that she had gone to the bed in a flying saucer. Carol gave her a tape and she described her life in series. She was familiar with the local flying saucer organizations called Summer Phones, crazy about them. As she talked, odor like rotten eggs came from her and gradually overwhelmed her. Apple and his friends visited Jane and gave her details of his investigation. They also gave her disturbing predictions of present time. Bill then went to Jane's house, hypnotized her, and talked to Apple for her. Apple wanted to gossip about Marilyn Monroe and Robert Kennedy, and then more of the Kennedy loss in grave danger. Apple predicted some plane crashes, and then went back to Monroe and Kennedy. Plane crashes came to be. Keel was convinced that Apple and other entities like him were in touch with the future. He also found that when he'd think of a question, Jane would call him and give him a message from Apple to answer. Besides Jane, Keel was getting messages from others who he referred to as silent contactees because they avoided publicity. Through them, the entities gave predictions to Keel. Keel became more and more paranoid as the predictions got more and more dire. Some came true, such as the assassination of Dr. Martin Luther King, and others didn't. He was given one prediction that there would be a disaster on the Ohio River next to Point Pleasant. That, unfortunately, did come true. How much of all this did Keel believe, and how much did he believe was a put-on, and did he just make some of it up for dramatic effect? Keel himself tells the reader that he felt Princess Moon Owl was a put-up job. James Mosley was organizing a convention in Manhattan at the time, and Keel suspected the princess
Well, it's snowing. So I had to get some coffee.
This gift offers its comments. The first thing, Keel wrote in his book when he received a phone call on February 4th. He attempted to contact me. Keel unable. This writer could find nothing. It's an embellishment. It's quite tasteless. That doesn't. Could have left it out, and the book would not have suffered. More than academic. Despite the apparent bias, Keel believed it was a content. The story in the book, James' first meeting with the woman. It knows, dated July 7th, 1967. What left out of the book is that there was a phone in Apple's car. 1967. Wrote that a man was visited by a man, her, had seen the flying school. She assumed that it was a telephone call. After he read his notes, his name is spelled very well. A-D-D-E-L-A-P-P-E. That piece as well. It's Chloe, Ada. Keel's notes relate a phone conversation with Margaret. It seems as if psychic ability advises fellows, not the people. What may say? This section. Mary, I have good reason to be a disaster in the Point Pleasant area, which will not. The plan along the river may either blow up or the installation in Point Pleasant will be the center of such a disaster. If this should happen, notify me as soon as you can. Don't even hint anything about this. 1967. The Silver Bridge, which connected Ohio, collapsed into 46 deadliest bridge disaster in U.S. history. Feeling that it is as confused as we are about our plight. The end of this book, the quote from Charles Ford. It's going to be saved.
To find out more, please visit our website at Mysterious Radio. Thanks to our co-creator and executive producer, held to you today, and working hard behind
medications for a pregnancy that had wrong dosage for the wrong condition. So please, never share your meds. Learn more at knowyourscript.com.
Statements and opinions by guests of Mysterious Radio, our sponsors, or affiliated networks. Any other use of this podcast without the express is strictly prohibited.
Get ready for a night filled with conspiracies, paranormal, UFOs, legends, and with your hosts, K-Town, on
Welcome. Thanks so much for having me. My pleasure. Now,
is into these subjects. I don't know these weird and strange.
I do think that although probably the field is see the science or the study of a naturally equal opportunity sort of thing. Curious mind and man and woman was nothing that I ever set out to do or really knew what a cryptozoologist was until back in 91, 92, when I had just started a newspaper in Walworth County that's in southern Wisconsin. Because I had been there had the recorder split and they needed somebody right away. And liked it. And it wasn't very long. In my hometown when the corn was cut. Really seeing what they described as not quite 4 miles long outside of Alco. A shortcut between but it's not like it's so isolated and wilderness road. And I know I laughed when I first heard of it. And it's not that I was unacquainted with paranormal. Dad had been into science fiction, and so I was. Time I had read all the early writings, Hunt for the Sasquatch and the Yeti, which were kind of big things. Early 70s, so I knew about those things, but werewolves? Phew. And then I found out, accidentally, because I was reading a story he had been some dog mutilations, things like that. In his office, marked werewolf. When I asked him about it, he shared the names and addresses and calling which impressed me because if prank, you don't call your local lawn. That's not who you try and prank. And it appeared to me, I noted that they were a very diverse group. They were elderly to down to middle school age, white collars. It was a very diverse group and were reported in the papers at that time. And you find that quite often. Experiences they just don't want to talk. Luckily enough, I was able to put together a newspaper article, which was incredible. But I believe he had also like one little flash in the pan. This was going back one, probably earlier. I had one witness that, and it was something that just a dangerous animal. I thought people had the right to stands around 6 foot tall, covered with fur, fangs with claws, and it can run bounds. That's something really unusual, and it's something that, again, this isn't wilderness, this is a fairly densely populated. That was the first reason. People had a right to know. That's, things more than one time. You know, it's very easy or something like that. So generally, it only takes down when you have the pre-animals like deer, tons of deer, it's all that kind of thing. Then you have the predators coming down. Instead of big, I've seen many hundreds of them. There have been Indian rifle deer coming through there. So you have all kinds of people walking those trails are not even aware of. Something like a wolf that occasionally walks upright, Bigfoot, would be able to hide itself and feed itself. Surrounded by lakes, so there's a great water supply. So, well, Wisconsin, but you do have this really favorable habitat. It wasn't really sought after. I mean, my editor and I both thought it would go away. It's so wrong. You know, and Newton. I mean, it just kept up, and it was so on its own, because I think during those 10 years that I worked at most 5 update columns, they weren't even, you know, when some things would come to light that I wanted to update. But I mean, the newspaper itself was t-shirts, and I saw other people selling the t-shirts. We kept making werewolf cookies, and you know, it was other people, you know, who were interested in the topic. And 3-4 years ago at most, when we had this, you know, diving radio shows and, you know, and putting in books, that paying too much attention to it other than those who share the experience. So it was sort of from breaking this story, you know, to instantly being completely engrossed in it, that built to that point, and it was good being great training. It was the kind of thing where I was able to track things down. For instance, a local lake had a weed dredger going through an ejection seat from a World War II airplane into that lake in southeastern Wisconsin, north of Chicago. Most of an ID number printed on this. I was able to track it down and find out that an accident they had to inject over the storm field, managed to crawl, which then became, you know, more of a lake type of thing. You know, and then report himself. So there was a story. And it was also a very good place to, you know, learn skills and that kind of thing. So it was great. And this, you know, the creature thing was just as I went along. And then I think the time when it's just, you know, garnered more and more books.
When someone reports something like, then they are not seeking any type of genuine, right?
Right. Yeah. And most people want rule, I should say, if I listen to instruction for attention, or they don't mind, or you know, something that would be attention getting. But to me are very sincere. Their tales around them for, you know, never felt they could share with anybody, because thanks to people like Sasquatch, they give you that look. So believe me, being an author, writing about these things, luckily that was another thing that radio did. Crazy. to one of my books. I want to really give my readers.
Let's talk about skin language. First of all, for listeners that haven't heard about it, and what's being recorded.
Ranch is kind of the nickname for this place that's been it's in the corner of Utah. One or two, I can't remember offhand. INTA, Native American Reservation. Just one other that I just can't think of at the moment. Said to have been cursed. And many of the natives on it. They thought it was for grazing and that sort of thing. And almost as things happened. Like they'd be out in the farmyard and a giant large-sized wolf-looking animal walked right up. It's kind of thinking, like, well, what is this? Is this, deer? And things think, well, we'll feed him or whatever. And I grabbed one of their calves by the throat, And other creatures like this, they tried to shoot them. They are connected, maybe emptying mounds in the like portals, where they would see a light shine, would see a different type of, say if it was night, they would in unrecognizable fields and buildings. This kind of thing was going on, and finally it became impossible. They sold it to a scientific organization. Up-to-date technical equipment there was, staffed it with professional people that could read or not answer anything that would serve as sign. And the activity, wait a minute, I guess there's still some things happening, but strange little corner of the universe. And about a point in my book, Monsters and Bugs, Festive, they have been in several books. But because the events very much similar things that were happening. A hay farm that was to where many of the Braymont sightings occurred, not out adjoining to it, where I've been assisting for years to try and figure out animals on his hayfield. He'd be finding things that cattle mutilations were reported in every state. And he saw was a raccoon that looked like it had been its neck down to its lower parts, and as if two big hands had reached in, carried them a handful, which really nothing, laid on the ground right next to, well, he came back later and something had taken again. Usually when you have lots of scavenger animals, as you will for some, usually you have all the little they're taking their own part. The coyotes go in one part, and there's bits and pieces all over, and removed and gone. And he did the same thing with another. And finally, the same thing happened. see this misty thing which stayed there for, and when suddenly then in the next frame, and the deer was gone. You should still have been nothing there. And when he investigated, prints, large and very deeply impressed into an ordinary dog, and he could only prints of it. So it appeared to be biped. Buried that deer because there were no drag marks. Remained at that deep level, and as if something was to make that deep of a print, it went across where it joined a room, but that for anything, it had to be fairly to carry it. That's when he asked some neighbors and said, "You've had the beast of Bray Road come. You should call them to come." And we really had a lot of amazing things. Portals on some of his, which were orange in the Skinwalker Ranch story. Lots and lots of strange light formation. One of which we documented on slides that coyotes kind of reacting to, and finally ran off and never came back.
Where were you that there's snow?
And there's actually more to that, but I've got stories out there within the book that would just, all of these things were happening out there, and the reason for this book, Monsters and after all these years realized that there were really quite a few reports from people, encounters that could not be explained by present zoology, that had some additional facts. It was a dog man running down the New York border that leaped onto turtle driver and his wife realized they had thought they was, when it landed, it was a 7 on his hind legs with fur that glowed like, you know, and both the wife and the husband lead to that, you know, and really designed. I had realized a bit before I started the book that this type of report, I was really weeding out what was important and necessary. If you're really taking credible and everything else is credible, just because they're perfectly well with all the others, you're really not investigating it. Own biases, and that's show all the different types of things that are occurring. That's what I call the usual 90% of sightings, or wolf-dog hybrid running out of hind legs, doing a meetup on a trail, something like that. These, where you've got things that look like dark shadows, and they look like wild throwbacks.
I've seen caves,
Dogs or dog wolves. Very improbably, and something that has been really quite rare. Reports that I've gotten over the years, but suddenly reports like that from credible people. So, and then it sort of backs them up with these other things that were happening by Bray Road in that hayfield were very similar as things that were happening on screen. And you begin to see that it feels like there's a network around the country, Canada, South America. And I think that realizing where it's from or what's doing it for us to know.
Well, Linda, this farm that you just talked about, there's one.
Now, if you read, there have been UFO sightings just about exactly 2 years ago. Put a deer carcass out there. I think that was the last big carcass was touching it. And there was really nothing out there for weeks, and nothing would go near it. It seemed like something off everything else, or there was something about the carcass and the smaller predators. And so I suggested to the owner, get in his truck and sit on the other side of the field just to see if anything interesting would show it. That nothing was coming to eat that carcass, and we might and also there were the two guys and myself. We were in his car, and we drove out to a spot from the place where the incidents usually occur to watch. And there was a lot to watch that night because the hour that was taking place, and we were kind of looking for sort of a regular, just to one side of that field, and we were kind of walking a bit, and all of a sudden I noticed that one of the lights, the front light of a landing plane, not a plane, because it stopped in midair, and then it stopped and went backwards. There's no way. And I said, guys, see that light there? That at it, and they totally agreed it was doing things. When we all focused upon it, all of a sudden, come straight across the field. That's when we realized it hadn't been as far away from us as all the other airplane traffic. It was at a height which made it look to our eyes from where we were. It's the field toward us, straight toward us, not trained on us. And we're all and kind of going, what should we, and I was trying to get position because I was in the back seat by myself, if you in the front, so we're waiting for this thing to get a little closer. Finally stopped. We estimated about,
That's driving me. Sitting at this light. Weird.